'Cause every time we try to break it down and build again, every time we try to make up for something lost, you know, we're never letting go. This time we can reach the sky on a prayer, we go higher than high. Yeah, wide awake, it's a big mistake, 'cause it's something we can deny. But with a love like this, we'll never fall. All of a sudden
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hollis-tics. I'm your host, Hollis-tics, for this Thursday night edition of Hollis-tics. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are streaming live as we do every night. I say we, but it's me, it's I, but I do have some help in the background pushing play on certain things like Instagram. We should be live on the Instagram right about now. Maybe you'll see this. Maybe you'll do a chat. The problem is I'm finding that Instagram, I'm not seeing your comments in my chat room. So Instagram is not the best place to chat because I'm not seeing your comments. But I am on the YouTube as well. We're broadcasting live on the VOP USA radio YouTube and also on, of course, Hollis-tics. That's my name and that's who I am. Hollis-tics.com, as you see right there under my name. Hollis-tics, my website, Hollis-tics.com. So if you don't know where to go to chat, the best places I've found to chat that I know come in here are YouTube and Rumble. They're the best. Rumble, again, I got to check this out so I don't give you misinformation, but I think you need to have an account on Rumble to watch and to chat. Could be wrong. But YouTube is free to watch and it's free everywhere to watch, actually. But it's just if you want to chat it up with me, because it's always nice to have guests in the chat room. Like last night, we had Mike P jump in, and we had all of my friends who are coming to support. And I'm keeping you guys company when you're driving, maybe when you're getting out of work, because I am here at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday. I was going to say every night, but it's not every night. It's on the week nights, not the weekends. The weekends I need off to do more podcasting and editing and all that stuff, as I was talking about last night in my podcast. Oh, usually I'm like all ready before the show, sitting here waiting. But today I was a little rushed because we decided to go. I needed to get out of the house a little bit. I was out earlier, but it's a beautiful day out there. It's like 80 degrees. I'm like, oh, spring. No. Oh, please. God, we need it. I'm so excited for the warm weather. I love the warm weather. I'm wearing a t-shirt. And it doesn't look very green. And I wore it because it's green, because tonight we're talking about manifestation and abundance and money and how we are going to manifest the life of our dreams if you're not already living it, because you could be and you should be. We're going to get into all of it, but no sugarcoating. We're going to talk about things to see if they really do work, what's worked for you. Some of the greats, like I've put in my description there, Napoleon Hill, he wrote a book called Think and Grow Rich. Maybe some of you have read it. I've read it in the past, and I said, you know what? I'm not rich just yet. But I think that means I need to rewrite it, because maybe we're not following really all the rules. So listen, we're going to get into that. But first, before we go there, I like to do my housekeeping. So I get my glasses on here, and we do a little bit of housekeeping before we move forward. And that is what the Buy Me a Coffee is about. Because Buy Me a Coffee, I will say that why I was a little bit late today was because it was so nice. I needed a cold, refreshing beverage. And I decided to get a Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee. This is Monkey Business, something like Monkey Cloud Latte Business. And I didn't have one for over 2 weeks, because the last time I had one was when I went to Trader Joe's. So because people were very generous, thank you, you know who you are, to buy me coffees. I'll be honest, I don't spend all of it. I didn't spend any of it yet. It's still sitting in the account like, oh, where should I'm going to take it out and use it. But some of it is used for coffees, but not all of it, because I'm saving it to use for promotion and perhaps saving it up to invest in some merchandise. So because we want to make money from our investments, right? We need to invest so I could think and grow rich. We're not going to think about it. We're just going to do it. And tonight we're going to discuss all that. But yes, so cheers. And it's a nice, refreshing drink. But speaking of buy me a coffee, today was a very exciting day because I got a new member. Oh, and I'm gonna do a little big, not a little big, a big little. That's a what's it called? An oxymoron when you say a big little or a jumbo shrimp. I'm giving you a little bit of English lesson. I remember this from English class. Something that contradicts it, and I just always remembered jumbo shrimp because shrimp are little and jumbo is big. So that's an oxymoron. In case you didn't know that, you probably did. But if you know any other ones, let me know. Give me an example. Give me an example. So, a big applause for James, who became a member today. And honestly, it made my day when I saw that. He became a backstage member. And I'll get into that, what that means exactly in a minute. But thank you so much, James. I love James. James from the UK. He was always he's just a great guy. He's a great supporter. He loves music. He was always my friend when I was doing the Love Zombies and always give me advice. He's a smart guy. Just has a good heart. And so did his family, Karen and his kids and everything. Just good people. And he decided, I'm sorry, I'm getting my hair all ready because we have a show going on here. And I probably should have done this before. This doesn't look quite right. Oh, hi everybody. What do you think of my new hairdo? But yes, so we're just getting down to the housekeeping before we get into the meat and potatoes, I say, into the nitty-gritty, if you will, of the show. And I will still keep playing with my hair until we get it right. And I see a comment over there in the chat room, and I'm going to get to the chat room in a little bit and say hello to everybody. My partner and not my board operator, but my partner in crime, he sends out a text message to some of you guys. And so he's sending out the link so you can join the chat and come and have some fun. And like I said, I was just so happy today. I saw James signed up for the Backstage Pass. And the Backstage Pass is where you're going to get the members. I lost my train of thought. It's a little early for that already, Hollis. You're losing your train of thought already. Get with it. Maybe I need another sip of Joe, a cup of Joe. We should look that up. Why did they call it a cup of Joe? Board operator? Anybody in the chat room? Anybody know why do they call coffee a cup of Joe? Do you ever think about these things, really? There was another one, chewing the fat, I said the other day. These sayings, where did they really come from? Because they all come for something. High on the hog, I remember. That was one. Because you're living high on the hog. You have a lot of money. We're gonna manifest loads of money. We're gonna be all living high on the hog as long as you watch me, Hollis. I will tell you the tricks of life because I'm living my best life, and we're gonna live our best life together. But high on the hog. It's something with, I believe, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone knows or cares. But I think it's just a cut of meat or something was on the hog is pig, obviously, but it's some kind of meat that was higher up on the hog that is more, I don't know, tastes better or it's like worth more. The best part of the pig. I don't know. High on the hog, chewing the fat. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's one of my favorites. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? I don't think that's one of them, but that's a saying I use a lot. If you haven't noticed yet, I'm kind of a dork. You wouldn't notice that here, right? Being a dork is, I mean, I don't know. I call myself a dork. I don't know. Maybe other people call me, especially when I quote the 80s movies, which we will be doing tomorrow night. And very shortly, I'll be unveiling something very exciting about tomorrow night. But with the housekeeping in order here, again, what James did today was he signed up for my Buy Me a Coffee membership. Now, Buy Me a Coffee is just one of those things. It's just the website where, I say I take tips. I say it all the time, and I'll say it again for the new people who might be scrolling by. Why are you taking tips? Or are you just doing this? Or are you asking for my money? Don't you just do this for fun? Of course, it's very fun, and I love it. And at the same time, it costs a lot of money to entertain, and I'm a big believer in that. People who always consume, sometimes you got to think of where that entertainment came from. And I talk about music, the soul behind the song and everything. If you like it, if you watch it a lot and you could chip in and you could throw me $5, or you could buy me a coffee, you could do it right here because that money helps pay for this streaming service that I use, just what's it called? Full transparency. It's close to $90 a month just to be able to use this service. And Rumble costs $25 a month. And that's just scratch the surface of all the costs associated with just doing it. So yes, do we do it just to make money? No, because I love it. I enjoy it. But at the same time, to bring all this entertainment and all this knowledge that you could just, I guess, Google or, you know, use Chat GPT to find out what, high on the hog means or those other sayings that I just said. And I forget what they were already. But Cup of Joe, you could, but it's about the delivery, right? You learn certain things and we got to take care of each other. I'm a big firm believer in, sharing the love and a fair and equal exchange. We live in a world of consumption. People just consume, consume, consume. And you'll find out if this is your first time here that I am a musician and I've decided to not give away all my music for free because it's a service and I would never come into your job or I would never ask you to do something for me totally for free all the time and just consume and never pay you for anything, you know? So there you go. That's the long and say long and short of it, but it wasn't very short. But basically, you can go here, you just scan it, and it'll take you over there and you can make a one-time donation. When I say buy a coffee, it's literally, you put the amount in. What this coffee cost me, this actually, I think that's kind of a lot for coffee. It was $6. But gosh, but I could just get, a $3 coffee. But I decided to treat myself. But yeah, so there you go. Poured a beer. I used to get $1 all the time bartending, and now I'm pouring my heart, soul, music, time, creation to hopefully entertain you guys if you're here and you're coming back. And a big thank you to all the people out there who've already done that. Thank you so, so much. I really appreciate it. So again, if you like, you could drop a tip anytime during the show. You just scan that code or you go right here, buymecoffee.com/Hollis-tics. And when I go over here, because I'm very prepared with my media assets, because I am my own board operator. I don't have any of those yet. But again, that's where, again, the tips and things like that, eventually I could hire. I like to share the love. I love to pay creatives. I love to help and, get someone here. I could hire another person to help me a little bit more here. So I don't have to do everything myself. But in the meantime, that's how you support me. Anything over here. I got a lot of things on my website. You get the music collection there. I always joke $18,000 discount for only $20 right now. And some other stuff that are all on my website. But what I was talking about the buy me a coffee is you can choose if you want to know a little bit more and see my exclusive podcast. This is the one, the Backstage Pass. That's what James signed up for. And it was very nice because he paid for the year up front, which was so great because that gives me the little extra money right now that really helps me with all my advertising promotion I'm planning on doing. Excuse me. So I'm going to save that up and try to get a little, fun going so I could start promoting my music and maybe using some of this crap that I always whine about, boosting the posts and stuff, because you kind of have to do it. Excuse me, I have to cough. I'm so sorry. Take a look at it while I cough here. Hold on. Clear my throat. Why is it you go on air and all of a sudden you get like a cat in your throat? Not a cat, a hairball. But there you go. There's different levels there. But this is the one where you're going to get an exclusive podcast. And I go into a lot of things. I would say it's the juicy stuff. It's the good stuff that I won't talk about on certain. I'm not going to talk about it everywhere. So that's where it's reserved for. And that's only $10 a month, really. When you think of it, people always say that, right? Oh, it's the price of a coffee. It's actually less than, 2 coffees a month, and and coming from a few people did it, it really, really helped. And I could pay for a lot of this stuff. But anyway, everybody has a story, right? Everybody's whining, banging for the money. Well, we work hard for the money, but that's why I thought, always talking about it, we're going to get into the manifestation. So with that said, that's the housekeeping there. I think that was pretty much everything. Really, the housekeeping is just letting people know I accept tips and everything is very much appreciated in hollismighty.com. And also you can sign up for the email list there. If you're just scrolling by or you've been here and you want to come back, I have a free download and all that stuff up there. So we'll get more into that. But with that said, I'm going to take off my glasses now. And we're going to head over to the chat room and say hello to everybody. But let me pause this real quick, mute it, because I really have to cough and I don't want to cough loud in there. Hold on, guys. I'm so sorry. Sorry about that. You didn't hear it, right? I put it on mute. That's the beauty of it. I could have actually just probably put like a thing up there where I cleared my throat. Like, hey guys, did you check this out yet? Okay. So let's go over to the chat room here. see anyone who's popped in. Maybe get some new people in here tonight. It's always nice when people pop in that I haven't seen for a while, like last night. And then last week we had a couple people in there. We had the who was it? Some whatever, but it was I forget his name now. I didn't mean to. From the UK. And he popped in, but I think, in the UK it's late. So because I had, a lot of people like supporters and stuff from the UK, but unfortunately it's pretty late for them. So I don't really know if they could really pop in and stay too long or chat because it's pretty late there. It's almost 12. I think I figured this out there. I'm 5 hours ahead or 5 hours ahead. So over to the chat room. Yay, we have MAGA dirt bikers in the house. Joe, good evening, Hollis. I'm driving, but I will be listening. Well, hello, Joe. Love you. You drive safe, and I will be here to guide the way home on this Thursday night. But always awesome to have you in the chat room and watching and a fan. And Joe's been here, I always say, since day one. He's a true supporter. So thank you for that. And Aaron's in the house. So glad you were talking about books. I listened to the audiobook on CDs 10 years ago. I didn't implement what was taught, though it takes discipline and perseverance. Yes. I don't know what's going on today, guys, today. I just, all of a sudden I have like I said, a frog. It's a frog in your throat. That's it. Not a cat. Frog. Yeah, and that's the thing too. So we'll get into it is I have a lot of self-help books, a lot of like personal growth books, Think and Grow Rich. And it's easy to read them, but sometimes we don't implement them or we do, or we try. I mean, it's not like you're doing it on purpose. In the moment you're like there, and then you kind of put it down. And so it's more about how do we implement it? That's exactly why I'm going back to Think and Grow Rich. And, I just had the idea because you hear it all the time. Manifestation, and then you're thinking yourself, what am I doing? Like, am I subconsciously creating my own reality? I mean, living in California for many years, that's where I started learning about all this stuff and the vibe and the energy and all that stuff. And really, I'm going to play a video in a little bit here about a guy, I guess an influencer, who I found, of course, just through the reels, through Instagram or Facebook. I think it was Facebook. And I stopped on it and I love him and I started watching it. It was, those moments when you need a reminder. And I was like, sometimes listening to those motivational, inspirational videos, I really like them. But him particularly, I really like him. And his name is Derek something. He has like 1 million followers. Maybe you've already heard of him. But he kind of got me back on, on the vibe because especially money. Money is a huge one. And that was the title of my episode here tonight. I'm trying not to cough again because I feel like I have another frog in my throat. I don't know what's going on. It could be I'm a singer and I know that there's certain things like it has milk in it and cream sometimes on your vocal cords. They always say don't eat ice cream. I mean, I never eat ice cream before I go on stage, but don't eat ice cream. Don't eat anything with dairy because it has like a coating. And I hate to say the word, it's kind of gross, but mucus. And like all of a sudden you're like, oh, excuse me. Oh, not the best. Okay, note to self. Next time, get the coconut creamer. It's not real milk, and then you won't be packing up a frog live on air. So, yes. But, well, too late now, guys. Sorry. But, yeah, it's just like sometimes you forget. And, money's a big one. And there's so much about it. I mean, people make a lot of money selling self-help and personal growth books. I think a lot of people are wanting to, improve themselves and want to have the life they dream of. And so we get into it, but there's a lot of people who just do it. And I don't know, they just to make money. But some people I think have, maybe cracked the code because there's a lot to energy and there's a lot goes back to at least what I've read and everything, just like your subconscious mind, that part of you when you dream. All that weird stuff you see is like buried deep in your mind. I mean, the mind is a crazy thing, our brains, and you go so much deep into this stuff, which I like to do, obviously. But let's see what else Aaron says here. Aaron says coffee in the 1930s was associated. Okay. Thank you, Aaron. I said, where does Cup of Joe come from? He says coffee in the 1930s was associated with the average Joe. And how about this one? Take it a step further. Why did they pick Joe to be average? Was it just because maybe Joe is just a really popular name? Mike and Dan seem like the most other Chris, maybe the most, popular name as far as there's a lot, like I know a lot of Dans, only one very special Dan, but I know going through my Facebook because I invite people personally to the show. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's like 70 Dans. You got to go. But the average Joe, do you remember the old cartoons where advertising sometimes included eat at Joe's? No, I don't remember that. Which cartoons like Bugs Bunny and stuff like that? Not really sure, but there you go. That's an interesting thing. Yeah. Now we know where Cup of Joe came from. Before indoor plumbing became common, families would bathe together in the same tub of water once in a while, and usually the father and mother would wash first, then the children. So don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Is that like accidentally don't throw the baby out when they're dumping the bad, like the old bathwater? Because that's don't throw the baby out with the bathwater is right. Isn't it the saying that like don't throw it all like well obviously the baby's obviously the good thing. You're not going to throw it out with the what you don't want. So be careful. Like just because something might be bad in the situation, you do want to blow the whole situation. Or if there's one good thing and there's a couple bad things, don't throw it. Don't right. I mean, am I saying this right? It's just don't. Because I use that saying a lot, but it's like don't just get rid of everything. If there's something good there too, just because there's a lot of bad, don't blow certain things. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. But there you go. The water must have been dirty enough to joke about losing the baby in the. Oh, got you. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. There you go. The water must have been dirty enough to joke about losing the baby in the bathwater. They couldn't find the baby. So, yes. Very interesting. We're off to a very interesting start here. And today is Thursday, and you are watching Hollis-tics. And here I am. I'm Hollis-tics. We had a good time last night. I had a great, I had a really good time last night. I like to watch my episodes back and just to make sure everything's going right because I have to upload them and do all that stuff. But yeah, it's been a busy week and things just go so freaking fast. But I feel very accomplished. I've done a lot of things. And what I'll do now, will play because believe it or not, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But I do these 5 nights a week, and then I do have my other podcast. And I just took a while. I worked on this last night and the day before, and I finally sent out an email to my email list, which I was trying to get to tell them about this show and about this new podcast that I just put up. So maybe I will put this out. And this is my Buy Me a Coffee, Erin. I know you're a member on there, so you can watch that as well. And Joe, of course, maybe Joe already saw it, but I just put this together. This is kind of the teaser for that. It's a different style. And I say clearly in the podcast, it's a little bit of it's just a different side, but I am me. But here it's a little bit more, happy. I'm not saying it's sad. It's not depressing because I don't like depressing stuff. But just because it's dark doesn't mean it's depressing because I'm not sad or depressed about this stuff at all anymore. I lived through it and I'm on the other side. So, but you have to have a bit of a mystique and, it's just a different vibe. But it's cool. It's cool. And I love doing it. And what's really exciting is that I put 2 episodes up and then in the 3rd episode, that I'm going to shoot, I'm going to get to the freaking music studio and start playing and like putting a lot of that stuff up on there because this show, show clips here and there, but this really is just kind of chewing the fat. I was going to say but I didn't say it. I said just about chewing the fat and just like being here, showing up for friends to chat, to find us sayings like don't throw the baby out with the bathwater and just connect and be here and we talk about some stuff. I don't get into heavy things or anything here too much because you gotta keep it light and fun. As I always say, what do I say, guys? If you've been here since day 1, which was like 14 days ago now, we're doing good. I say you come here to disconnect from the matrix, take a break from the matrix. The world could be very heavy sometimes, and we're working and we're tired, and sometimes we get cranky. And it's a Monday. We're closer to the weekend here on a Friday. Sometimes you just want to you don't want to come in and people are yelling about politics and religion and like all this. It's just sometimes you just want to say, hey, we're talking about Skittles or something stupid. And I say that because there's an interesting fact. I was eating. And I don't do it that often, but I slipped up and I said, Dan was going to the store and I said, can you get me a bag of Skittles? Of course, Dan, being Dan, he brings like a big giant bag of Skittles. Okay, it's okay. It lasted for a while. But just an interesting fact that, again, this is not heavy. This is lighthearted. If anyone's a fan of Skittles out there, drop your favorite Skittle flavor in the chat room. I'm just curious to see if anyone has my same favorite flavor. But mine is red, and my second is grape. My third is green. My fourth is lemon, and my fifth is orange. And I said, why does it always seem like there's so many orange Skittles in the Skittle bag? And I chat GPT'd it, and they said the same thing. They said, well, when they do them in bulk or whatever, they don't actually, they don't measure them out. So some of them are unequal. But they said that most favorite flavor in Skittles is red, with grape being a second, and everybody seems to complain that there's not enough red or grapes. So there's an interesting tidbit for the day, in case you didn't know that. But I guess the number one flavor is red. And when they went and they did just a special bag of red, like all different reds, I still don't think they were the same. It's like that one red is the best, like that's the classic, I say. I like the classic Skittles. I don't go into the tropical. I don't go into the crazy stuff. Occasionally, as if there's not enough sugar, I'll say, well, I guess sour Skittles, but I don't really eat it too much. So I remember also reading that like Skittles is one of the most, there's so many probably, but Skittles, I remember reading that. It's like they're literally like one of the most unhealthy foods like in the world or something. Okay, we could pull it up, but I don't want to give misinformation here. But this stuff, it's just a little bit silly. We're just lighthearted. As I said in my promo, we are decompressing, disconnecting from the world around us, and talking about whatever really comes up. And like I say, I love when people are in the chat because it just kind of guides the conversation sometimes. It just kind of goes where it goes. And like I said, we are going to have some guests on here because that'll spice things up. And I think it's definitely fun to meet all different kinds of people who come in. And again, whoever it could be, like, it's not, I just want musicians or I just want this. No, it's like, we're going to talk to real people, real stories. Because everybody has something interesting to say, I'm sure. Well, maybe not, but you know what I mean. So Aaron says, do you believe that there is a benefit to reading a book recommended by a friend who you often disagree with on religion or politics? Yeah, I do. The only reason I do is like someday, because you're understanding maybe why they think that way. I mean, again, it's just about, I don't know, it's just because you kind of wonder sometimes like why people think the way they do. But because it's your perspective or based on what you've read, on what your belief, like, you know what I mean? So if you want to, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If you really want to try to understand them, or maybe you already know and you're just like, no, it's not my thing. But if it's something where you're like, because that the communication, understanding people, you really sometimes want to see like where they're coming from, why they think this way. Now, not everybody, but for instance, as a working in inner harmony wellness and doing my my health coaching, and there's a lot of things about ways that you talk to people, because I'm a very different situations, but I know my style. I'm very like kind of like, hey, like, you know what I mean? But there's certain ways other people, if you're trying to communicate with them, and there's a lot of psychology into all that stuff. It's like the way for a customer, how you could get people to open up and talk. You kind of have to be at their level of, not their level, but their communication, or the way they communicate style. Because there's certain ways to get people to feel more comfortable and open up. Again, that's just for like that kind of work. If you're, doing that stuff or counseling and things like that. Not that I was a counselor or anything, but doing health coaching, and I was doing weight loss and coaching and stuff like that. So to see where someone's coming from, if you want to understand someone a little bit more, but it's always good to look at two sides. There's always going to be one probably you agree with more, that's just naturally and comes to you instinctually or whatever. But so I think so. There's nothing to harm in it, but you know what I'm saying. Aaron asked, what is Chris's name so I can find him on Bandcamp? His band name is Must Kill Chris. I'll write it down. I'll write it in the maybe he'll pop in here tonight. I hope so. Must Kill Chris is the name of his, actually, Chris Moore is his last name. It's Moore, but you won't find it in there. Well, you'll find it under Must Kill Chris there. And I did just type it in the chat room and it's not going. Okay. Did you see it? it said an error occurred, but I think you got it there. Most Chris, and his name is Chris Moore. Let me type that in there for you. But yes, a little bit all over the place. But I was talking about I was gonna show the little promo I did for the Comedy of Errors and how I said, it's all lighthearted here. We talk about everything under the sun and the moon. We talked yesterday about Artemis 2 digging their journey in space and where it goes. And then again, of course, it goes back a lot to music because I can't hide from who I am. I can run from it. I'm proud of it. But music comes up a lot and relationships and all that stuff. But like I said, for the Comedy of Errors, which is the name of my album, I made this little, I can find it. Board operator, that's me. I'm here. I'm right here. It's here. I promise. I see it. So here you go. This is the little, and you'll see the background's different, but this is, I pre-recorded them, obviously. They're not live, but I am going to, as I get more people to join, because right now there's only, a couple, 2 or 3 members, but I wanted to put it out there because that's the extra podcast. But I'm also going to do it where it can be live. It is a live stream, so we can also chat on there too. But once I have a couple more people, then I'll do one live. But again, yeah. So this is the Comedy of Errors podcast promo. You'll see how it's a little bit different. Here we go. Share some stuff that I haven't shared with anybody ever. I'm going to share it with you. Welcome to a Comedy of Errors. A little bit more of the skeletons, the closet. I will only talk about it here in this podcast. We're going to get into the really good stuff. And some of it's not pretty. Went all the way there just to go back to the beginning. Nothing, really? They'll kick you right down. They'll spit in your face. I was living in Hollywood and I was just so beaten down. I love zombies. So much heartbreak. Certainly not the way I saw things going. This up, man. Oh, man, that really screwed my life up. My mom would tell me, oh, you'll look back and laugh at this. Really? And then there was not enough left to promote it. I mean, that was a big, big mistake. It's a shame. And the darkness comes to knock you back down. They're just so sex sells. Just show it all. The boudoir. Characters and plot twists. Some people go on the journey with you and some people don't. Sweet Poison Love. Devil in Me. Where Did You Go, Girl? That's my favorite song on the album. I wanted to see other people's hearts. And I don't think everybody is born to do this. At least the Freedom Records. Am I too old to do music? Can't give up on something that's you. And I could have chosen never to do music again. So how many times are you going to get knocked down or drown your sorrows? Or are you going to hide under the covers forever? It's about letting go of what was. We have the courage to get up and to try again when we've been knocked down so hard. Life's not for sissies. What do you do with those struggles? They're all part of the story. This is truly the journey, figuring things out as I go. I invest in those who invest in me. It means so much to me. People who support it. Talking to you, hear about it first. We're going to be releasing it in real time. An insider peek before it comes out. But it's more fun when we have each other. This is not just about me. It's about all of us. We're going to get into all that here and more on a Comedy of Errors podcast. Can't wait to share it all with you. This is awesome. So there you go. I put myself on mute there because I was clearing my throat again. So hopefully we don't have any more frogs in our throats. But yes, so there you go. So that's a little bit of a teaser there of what you will get behind the scenes if you decide to invest and pay $10 a month and get some extra stuff that you won't find anywhere else. And I put out into my email. I've only sent one out today because I have this email list I've had for a long time, and there's close to 600 people on it. And there's been some loyal people, and I feel bad because I don't put emails out too often, which is probably a good thing because you get so many. I mean, they just probably go to the junk or the spam. So now putting one out for a while. The last one I put out was during Christmas when I was telling people about the Christmas album, and I gave them I think a free song or something like that. But like I said last year, I put some like my new music's coming, and here I am again. New music coming. It's coming. I swear this time it is. It's here. And so I showed them all, some links to the stuff and everything. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get some more members to join and, but I feel good. I'm accomplished what I set out to do. So we're getting there one step at a time. This is the journey. And you know what they say? It's about the journey, not the destination. So, Let me go back to the chat room. I'm going to take that comment off the screen. But yeah, so books and I mean, audiobooks. I used to listen to audiobooks sometimes. I mean, you feel like you're always like Audible and then you get the subscription, forget to cancel, and then you don't use it, or you're going to get a free book. And so I have a whole bookshelf of books, and and a lot of them are the self help and stuff like that. And actually, I play it quite a lot, but maybe it's a little good intro. And I may play it real quick, my Dr. Wayne, and then I might grab another book off my shelf because this was the book that changed my life. Seriously, I'm not even kidding. Um, Actually, I don't know if I have that one, but I have the other one. There was two, but really the one was called Man. It was called Manifesting. It was something like Wishes Fulfilled. That was it. That was a life changing book, and I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you the example when I come back. Just because this cup of Joe, now all of a sudden I had to take a tinkle. Okay, maybe that's TMI, too much information. But I will play a little Dr. Wayne, and I'll see if I could grab his one book because it's called Excuses Be Gone, and that was a great book. That was the follow up. I mean, the follow up in my order. I read the first one first, and I put some of those applications into my own life. I applied it to my own life, and it worked. It did work. And so that's the thing. Then these things happen, and then sometimes you manifest, and then other things go, wrong and stuff, and then you're back, and you're like, oh. So I'm like, I'm in a moment in my life where we're going to try it again, and we are going to create the life we want here on Hollis-tics. I mean, maybe you're already living it, but I think everybody always, everyone's like, oh, I can, could always be a little better or whatever. But, it's also good to be grateful for what you have, of course. So I always say we're alive here. So that deserves a round of applause. And I like to do that in the beginning and in the end, because if you're here today, and I just like to remind people in case you didn't hear it today, because I don't think maybe we tell each other enough, encourage people and tell people you're doing good. You're doing good. And to never give up on whatever you're striving for, or to, quit if you're doing something hard or if you had a tough day. Sometimes you just need someone to say, hanging in there and you're doing good. So that's for you. You can remind me of that. So with that said, let me put on like Dr. Wayne. I'll see if I can find that book on my bookshelf real quick. And then we'll come back and we'll discuss some more. And of course, any questions are always welcomed in the chat room. All right, here we go.
Next principle I call don't die with your music still in you. And who better to quote than Thoreau right here in Concord when he talked about some of us hear a different drummer and we must march to the music that we hear. But all of you, everybody watching, everybody here in this beautiful parish, all of you have some music playing. And all of you have a heroic mission. There's no accidents in this universe. We all show up here with a purpose. There's an intelligence that is a part of everything and everyone, and all of us are connected to it. And too many of us are afraid to listen to that music and march to it. You out there, I know you have a book you wanted to write. I know there's a composition you wanted to compose. I know there's a song you want to sing someplace. Maybe you want to raise horses out in Montana. Or maybe you want to open up an ice cream shop on Cape Cod. Who knows what it may be. Maybe you just want to travel and see the world. Maybe you want to go into a relationship with someone but you've been afraid to, but your heart says it's the right thing to do. All of us feel something. And in Leo Tolstoy's famous novel, The Death of Ivan Ilyich, he asks this question that would be terrifying to me. He says, as he has his accountant from Moscow lying on his deathbed, contemplating the horror of this question, what if my whole life has been wrong? I've known what my music is. It's playing right now.
Join for you. And I'm back. And I will say I did not find the book. And the reason why is it was on my bookshelf forever. And I was going to talk about the book actually last week. I had it here as a prop, and now not a prop, but I had it here prepared and I can't find it. So, but it's just, like I said, it's one of those books. I mean, there's a whole list of excuses. We give ourselves all the excuses, right? Like really when it comes down to it, we make excuses sometimes for things we don't do. And I think one of the biggest ones, at least for me, that I always remember, and I think it's an excuse though we a lot of people give. Sorry, my hair. um, is that we're too old. We're too old, I'm too old to do that, or I'm too old to go back to school, or I'm too old to change careers or something. And I think and I remember reading, it was like, well, people say that, but it's too old to start. But if you don't start today, because you're never really too old. Like I say, the example, certain things, like if you're 7 years old and you're trying to be like a 20 or like an athletic basketball player, there's just certain things that aren't, going to happen. But, we use sometimes excuses that we tell ourselves out of fear. Sometimes it's out of laziness, because I've done it. I'm not talking like to anyone in particular. I'm saying for my own self. I applied this to myself because, oh, well, I'm too old now to do music, or but no. And I always say that a lot, is you're never too old to do something that's in your heart, or, or if it's writing a book or whatever it is. Like he says, don't die with your song still in you if you have to get it out. But that was always a big one. But the book I'm talking about in particular was Manifest Your Life. It was, or Wishes Fulfilled, it was called. And I don't have that, but I'm sure if you Amazon it or Google it or whatever, it'll come up the description. But he gets into a lot of good stuff about picturing, kind of creating the life you want in your head, or you hear things about vision boards, and if you pin up a picture of that trip you want to take, or whatever it is, or you want to buy a house someday, or have a baby, or maybe men don't want. Men want to have a baby though; they can't have it. But you know what I mean. Whatever. Have a family. Find the partner. If I have that pet, or I always wanted a cat. Whatever. You put it on your vision board and you keep looking at it, and you keep training your mind, and like you create these things. But he goes into a lot of depth about it, and he had a lot of good insight and wisdom. And I remember doing exactly, and I'll never forget. I was living in L.A. and I was working as a waitress. Working as a waitress in I was working a cocktail in a bar. That much is true. Da, 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 da. You know that song. I was working. Okay. So anyway, that one. And I went out to LA, to make it big and to be a rock star, but going to the place, I don't know, seriously, for real. Seriously, you go out there with dreams, and you want to, you going there to pursue music, and it's where you think you have to go, and all that creative. A lot of people are out there to be movie producers or actors or whatever creative field. So you're out there trying to chase your dream. And of course, the side hustle, right? You're like waitressing or bartending or whatever you have to do in the side. But I remember being there, and I had this Dr. Wayne book with me because I had found it. And it was like during a lunch shift where there was like no one there, because it would get really busy at night. Sometimes there would be lunch, but I was new there. So you have to take the bad shifts, like the ones where you don't make a lot of money. So it was like a lunch one, and I'm there, and I'm like, not really getting anywhere with my music and my demos, and it's all about who You're not getting anywhere. And I had my book, and I had a notebook, and I was reading it, and I was writing down what he was saying, doing exercises. So what do you really want? I said, I want to travel the world through music. I want to, because I knew at the time, like, I don't have all the money in the bank to go see the world right now and pay for it all. But I said, I want to see the world through music. And I kept saying that, and I kept telling myself, I said, I'm here, I'm going to see the world through music. I'm going to see it. And then I started meeting people there who were on tour and this and that. But I will never forget that moment when it was a lunch shift. The sun was shining. There was no one really around for some reason. I don't know, the cook was in the back, and there was no customers. And I was kind of like, man, questioning, what am I doing? And I read my Dr. Wayne book, and I remember just writing. And maybe I didn't have the book out at the time, but I was like writing like all these things that I wanted to accomplish, just writing it down. And like eventually, not too long after, it was really, and I was saying, I want to meet a manager. I want to meet someone who could help me do this without having I need help. I need help. I want to find a manager. I want to find this. And within literally a couple weeks, it all happened. Now, again, coincidence or what? But like literally, I remember that. Like, so the point is, it worked for me then. And was it Dr. Wayne, or was it changing your energy, your mental state, are really, really the power of believing. Because that's the thing. Sometimes, the world has its own plans. And sometimes I always say the one thing that you can control, because you can't control other people, what they do, their actions, even, trying to get a job and things like that. Dan struggles, he's looking for jobs, and he believes in himself. I believe in him. I believe in myself. But sometimes you're like, oh, you can't control the outer world. You can't control what anyone else does, but you could still, do you believe in yourself enough? And I always did. And I still do, but so it's really about having that belief deep down. If what you really want, if you think it's possible, I think that's the biggest thing. If you really truly believe that it's possible. So having belief and stuff like that. Let me head over to the chat room. I'm just going on and on here. Let's see if anyone else feels the same way. We have Aaron, Excuses Be Gone is on sale on Audible for $9.29. It's a great book. It's a great book, and I have it somewhere here. Like I said, and there's other ones too. Fear. I mean, fear is the root of a lot. And fear, you don't even know you have sometimes. Really, it comes down to fear, like self-belief, self-worth, all that stuff. I go deep into it in Comedy of Errors, but yeah, it's like all these things that prevent you, and you don't even know they're preventing you and holding you back. So White Noise is in the room. Hello, White Noise. Thank you for joining us. Do I know you? Or is that your screen name there? There's no picture there, so I don't know. Aaron just bought, oh, good. You got the Dr. Wayne. It's great. You're going to love it. And I want to reread it. White Noise. Good timing for this. Fear is my enemy. Well, you know what they say, or who said that? There's nothing to fear but fear itself. But I mean, fear is in the root of everything. I say that. I used to have a t-shirt. And I said this in another video, but for Love Zombies, it said the F word. I'll just say like, screw fear. It doesn't rhyme as much, but kill ego and love zombies. That was my t-shirt. But me to we. I actually don't know what that has to do with fear. But fear, screw fear. But easier said than done, right? Because it's not like fear, there are certain things you'll be scared of. Like, I hate snakes. I mean, this is a different kind of fear, right? Sharks. So, you're really scared of them. You're not going to go. There's certain things you are fear. But what are your biggest fears in life? It was a president. Yeah, who said that? There's nothing but to fear but fear itself. But certain fears, I think, and the biggest fear, again, I'm not speaking for everyone, but I do think it is a big fear, fearing that you're not worthy, or fear of failure. And I talk about that a lot because people think failure is a bad thing. It's not, because it means you tried. It means you were brave. I mean, I failed so many times in my life. It's just, or certain things just didn't work out. And you're thinking, oh, am I a big failure? Nothing ever worked out. Or did you have enough balls to go and try, to have the courage to try? Even now with the music coming back, deep down, there was a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear of putting myself back out there again. No one's going to look at it. I'm too old, or there's fears too. I'll be honest about having kids. Sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be old. I'm not going to have anybody. I'm going to die alone. Like these are fears. But at the end of the day, I know I got into that one, but it's true. I mean, just being totally honest, fear it's a big thing, and it holds a lot of people back from not pursuing maybe what they really want to do, or other things. But okay, it was FDR. It was a president. FDR. But who's White Noise? But I think that's the thing too. When you face your fear, because for some reason, like I said, just being totally honest, for some reason, I would be always like hiding the last few years. Like, I don't know. I wanted to put my music out. Like I was, and then I would find myself kind of doing anything but that. I want to be on the stage. I want to do this. I want to be in front of everyone. I want to be doing a podcast. But I would always find myself rearranging my room or making an excuse. No, that has to be perfect, or that has to be perfect, or no, I can't. I could only do it when. That's another thing. Oh, I could only do it when it's perfect. That's a big thing, I think, for me anyway. And I know it because I've done it for so long. That's why this is a big step. And I'm being very honest here on Hollis-tics. But I found myself doing that all the time. Sometimes we focus on the most mundane things to distract us from what we really deep down know we should be doing or want to be doing, the most important thing, and waiting for it to be perfect. Like, even for instance, like I said, just this podcast in general, I mean, yes, I wanted it to look a certain way so it looks nice with a camera. That really did take a long time. But just as far as it had to have everything I want, should I have waited? Oh, I'll have a board operator or this, that. No, because otherwise I'd still be waiting. It wouldn't even be up there. So sometimes you can't wait for everything to be perfect. Just got to do it and then go and evolve as it improves. Or, it evolves. And, because you're out here, and I keep saying I need a board operator, Tom offered, he'll be here eventually, but people will hear it, and say, oh, and I just, being honest, I need help with a lot of things. But people maybe see it and say, oh, I can help you with that. But where would they be able to help you if they didn't know it, if I wasn't here? But I definitely had a fear. I was never, ever scared of being on stage. I loved it. But this is stuff I get into my other Comedies of Error podcast about some of the stuff that happened, that kind of certain things happen, trauma and things happen that make you doubt yourself, that make you question yourself, your confidence. So even though I was never scared to be on stage, some certain things, and I just I don't know, and worrying about what other people think, that's a big one. But I never really cared that much what people thought. It's just kind of, I was doing my thing and be like, well, if you like me, you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. But that is a big thing too. Like, I think that people are always worried what someone else is going to think. I mean, in the grand scheme, doesn't it really even matter we're going to remember that when we're gone? What that critic online said or thought, But let's see what Aaron says. Aaron says, fear steals our destiny and limits our potential. Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like facing your fear. And that's where you could get down into the subconscious of it, right? Is there other, there's a self-fulfilling prophecy as well. Aaron says, do you think that it's helpful to understand why we have fear in some part of our life? Yes. Yeah, definitely. That's what when I talk about the shadow work and the shadow dance, it's like shadow work. It's such a thing. I mean, there's lots of books about that as well. Because you want to integrate the shadow. We all have fears. And some of it, if you think, some people believe this or don't, but some stuff they say comes from a past life, or you bring it in from other places, like fear that you have no idea. There's some people who, I have a fear of, I don't know, just something why do I have a fear of it? Some people now, I've read a lot of books about this as well. Like, some people have a fear of drowning. Don't know why. And I read another book. It was called Destiny of Souls, or The Journey of Souls. And they go back, and it was this guy who hypnotized people. And he found this pattern. It was maybe 100 people, probably more, but he did case studies. And he put them under with the hypnotized and did all that. And they would start talking about their past lives. And then they realized, to get to why they have fear about certain things. And then they realized in another past life they drowned. And now they have such a fear of water in this life. I mean, I don't know that these are just things you read about and I think are interesting, because some people have irrational fears. They have no idea why. And you wonder, where does that come from? What does that come from? I'm just trying to think of my biggest fears. Money is huge. That's why we have the Think and Grow Rich here. We'll get into it. But money is a big fear. For a lot of people, everything, the law, the abundance, the manifestation. What is it? You just think about money and it'll flow, and there's a lot. So there's definitely blockages, because some people have no problem manifesting money, or you just see wow. And it's usually, right, they say this too. It's always the person who wins the lottery, or the person when you're at a place in a raffle and everyone's like, oh, I hope I win the 50-50. I hope I win the $20. It's always the person who doesn't need it who wins it. So they say that there's an energy to money, and there's an energy to our thoughts and frequency, and there's an energy to money. So when you live in lack and always there's not enough, and even the language you say, oh, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. I read another book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's a good book to read. That was that Robert Kiyosaki, or whatever his name is. And it's saying your language also has a vibe and a vibration to it, and what you say to yourself. Oh, now we're getting into the good stuff. It's all coming back. Aaron, you maybe know about this, when they say the words have frequency, and that they used to post. I'm saying they, but is it Kyoto? Forget his last name or his first name. The Dr. Kyoto or something like that. He would take water and he would post on the water, like a glass of water, 2 glasses of water, and he would write something down on one, like love, I love you, peace, happiness. And he would put it on the water, like maybe tape it, or it was like on that. And then on another water glass, he would tape the words hate, fear, I hate you, you're ugly. And then it was that the water crystals, he then examined them from both glasses, and one of them were all broken up. The one that said hate, fear, or I hate you, you're ugly. And it was all not a nice looking crystal or a nice, like, whatever. And then on the nice water, it was like a nice, perfectly formed crystal. So they say stuff that the way you talk to yourself. I mean, come on. Again, this is not, I'm not trying to be like, I know everything. I'm telling you. No, because I do it too. Oh, I'll never get there. Oh man, I'll never make it. That's like, you have conflicting things, because sometimes I'm like, I'm a singer. They say that you have to say these things to yourself, be kind to yourself, and say, I am worthy of that. I deserve more. I deserve more. I am worthy of that. And because that's not what we're used to saying. I mean, maybe some people are, but these are literally what people practice. What people practice saying. No, be kind to yourself. Words have energy. Words have frequency. When you keep saying, I'm broke, I'll never get that, I'll never have that. Oh, sorry, pardon my language. I screwed up. I'm a loser. Oh, I'm a loser. Do you really create that? Is that what you become? Not saying you're a loser, but you know what I mean? You're telling yourself we're mean to ourselves. So all this stuff about self-love, and I'm sure you've seen things like people write on the mirror, I love you, the positive affirmations, all the things to tell yourself. But this guy, I'll bring him up in a little bit here. I really like him. He, and again, I'm sure, because as you see, I'm a little passionate about it. I all different things I've read about. Let me go here into the, I agree, Aaron. What do you think? White noise. I agree, Aaron. Aaron says, can fears be transmitted from person to person? Yeah, I think so. If you're around someone long enough, you take on different traits and things of them. I think you ever see me with someone and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm all of a sudden I'm acting like them. I'm kind of taking on their stuff as well. So I think fears can be transmitted. Like if someone's always worried about money, then I start worrying, or not just money, but other things, White Noise says, wow, that's interesting. Yeah. Again, I can't pull it up right now, so I'm not that fast with it, but his name, I could do it on the phone. His name is Emoti or something like that. And there was another one. It was the same thing with plants, right? And it was, what was his name? Baxter, something Baxter. So I used to read all these crazy books. Not crazy, but, and these were people who did studies on this stuff. And I think his name was, maybe it was Baxter. And what was the book? Who was the guy I used to like a lot? I'm forgetting. It was Synchronicity of the Universe or something. And he played music to the plants. And one of the music was of higher frequency, because music is frequency, right? Aaron, you would know this. I mean, maybe other people would know that too, about the hertz and 432, and there's certain frequencies. Because why is music so freaking healing? Certain music, right? You put it on, you're like, oh, why is meditation music like, there's some sound bowls, healing music. It's like these are at a frequency. Everything's at a frequency. They even say your words are very important. Your words are a frequency. Then people say, oh, words mean nothing. Words don't matter. I don't think that's true. I think that they do, especially words you tell yourself. But it takes training of your mind, because we're our own worst enemy. We have things going in all the time. Oh, there's always doubts. Oh, I'm good. And no, you're never going to make it. Oh, you're not. Listen, coming from experience, like I know you like, literally, you're like, who is that voice? Why am I thinking this? And then it's like the self-fulfilling prophecy, the manifestation, or your biggest fear. The best way to get over is for it to happen. Like, and then you're not scared of it anymore. They say conquer your fears. So people, I'm afraid of heights. Well, then you better go bungee jump or something. I don't know. But yeah, I think his name was Baxter, but he played heavy metal to a plant. It was some kind of dark. It was dark frequency music. It was like, they say that music, there's demonic music where it's like the frequency is just like ugh. And they played that to a plant, and the plant like was dying. And then they played another one to a different plant, and it was didn't die. I don't know if it just bloomed like all of a sudden. I don't think it was like that, but the synchronicity key. His name was David Wilcox, I remember. And I'm just coming back to me. And I would read it, like even Think and Grow Rich. I was a big dork. I'm sitting here, I look at my book. I'm like, I have all the things underlined, and I'll go back and look. I'm like, what did I underline? Thoughts are things. Thoughts are things. They say with meditation too, why you have to have discipline, train your mind, because people say, "Oh, I can't shut my brain off. Go to sleep." It's like, oh, we're thinking about things like a million miles. That's why meditation for some people is very hard. It's hard to just shut up and disconnect, and then it's supposed to be observing. Your thoughts are coming in, like, what is that thought? Like, okay, I'm just gonna disconnect. All of a sudden, you're like, I gotta go to the grocery store. Oh, I gotta do that. Oh, I got to work. I'm worried about the bank. You're supposed to like try to, that thought comes and go away, thought. I'm just connecting. I'm just being. We're always doing, but we're not being. So that's where we get into all this stuff, right? Thoughts are things. This is number one. And there it is. I'm trying to fight my, oh, that's interesting. I was thinking about how parents can teach their children to fear by example. Yeah, definitely. Because there's things you pick up, and again, it's a cycle, you learn it, and especially your parents or children and stuff, like that's who you grew up with. Sometimes you have to break certain things that, again, for me too, like I don't, you're trying to break out of like the cycle of like, oh, well, I'm going to be the one that makes it. I'm going to go on the goes out and makes all and starts a business or something. I didn't come from a family where we were businesses. They worked for someone else. So I was like, I'm going to start my own business and do all this stuff because, your family, of course, they influence you the most because you grew up with them. There's certain things from childhood that certain habits and stuff that, I think that's the way most people are. And it works good ways too, so, but our parents do the best they can, but so fears are passed down. Do you ever notice and there's certain things too, like the dad was an alcoholic and then the child was an alcoholic, or the dad or, mom or whatever. Sad stories too. Like this one abused their son and then the son ended up being abused their wife. It's things you're taught. So can you, you could unteach them and then there's certain people who are like, go the opposite, or they see it and they just say, I don't ever want to do that because that's how it treated me. It's weird to see like which one you pick, and there's the whole thing too being, it was kind of crazy because I remember I knew two of the same people, and they both had same circumstances. They were both adopted, and one person always, hold on, because I'm forgetting the story. I want to make sure I say it right. But I was thinking about how parents could teach her. White Noise says, been fighting myself my whole life. Yeah, but you know what? You're not alone. We are our own worst enemy. I've been fighting myself my whole life too, probably, self-sabotage. That's a big one. I've definitely self-sabotaged stuff. For sure. We do that. Fear. Undeserving. You ever notice like you're bad, like you could have there's certain things. They might say, is it really your destiny? Is that always going to happen? You're always going to learn. You're always going to be to this spot. Like get all the money and then you lose it. People who win the lottery, right? All of a sudden they're a millionaire, but then they end up broke because maybe they, I don't know you guys know what I'm saying. I know I'm not saying I'm words of wisdom because I'm here just being honest. Like I'm going through it too. That's the whole, thing of the show. Does manifesting really work? I'm not here to sell you my course and say it does. Hollis-tics.com, my book on manifesting. I'm just talking about it because I think there's a lot of truth to some of it, but I'm still trying to crack the get rich thing. I believe in myself. It doesn't mean the money is totally flowing, but I'm like, then you ask yourself, is it really because I don't deserve it? Do I deep down think I shouldn't make any money for my music? Or is it because people don't pay for music anymore? Is it because same thing with Dan? Like he's still looking for a job and stuff. And people say, oh, well, just pretend you already have the job and it will come. You hear that one a lot. You want a car? Well, just act like you already own it and it will come. Like, if you know what I'm talking about, this is the advice that you hear, and there's another one too. and this one made sense. You want to live like not from desperation. Like, oh my God, once I get that, it'll make me happy. Once I get that. So I get what they're saying kind of with that. You know, we do have everything that we really need. I mean, if you're alive and breathing, you know, we have really kind of what we need. We all want, want more things. Oh, we want the perfect job, or we want to upgrade or whatever. But saying that if you're in a position where you're not needing something external to make you happy, then it'll flow more and it will come. But then there's a lot. There's just a lot to it. I know maybe I'm not making that much sense, but I will go over here. Reality is overrated. Yes. Okay, here we go. I wonder if maybe fear and white noise. Yeah. Like I said, yeah, I know. We're our worst enemy. And then you get really to the other weird stuff where people say, is this all like a hologram, or do you really exist? Is this just a dream? And then you ever hear about the things about people are mirrors of you, and the things that you don't like about them is really in you, and you're seeing it in them because it's a reflection of you. I don't know if anyone heard that one. That's a big one. Like your partner, it mirrors certain things back to you. There's a lot to it. There's like so many things I read about it. And again, it's just food for thought. Because psychology, your mind, the brain, I mean, there's all so much. I love this stuff, but I'm probably not making that much sense. I wonder if maybe fear can be transmitted. Why can't I say that word tonight? Transmitted by pheromones. I don't know. Maybe. What does anyone else think? Like anyone else know that? Because pheromones sounds dumb. Pheromones is like the smell, right? Or like if fear may be transmitted by pheromones. I don't know. And Aaron, yeah, there you go. Aaron got the name of there. Masuro Emoto. I knew it was something like that. Emoto, I always say. That was so interesting. Because people always say, oh, just trust the science. Well, there you go. There's an example of literally something as powerful as, or not as powerful. Yeah, as powerful as words. Simple, I should say, as words. But then you find they're not so simple. You keep telling yourself you hate yourself, or you're a loser, or you're not good enough, or you won't get the job. You keep saying it. Are you creating that reality? That's what keeps showing it up. But then there's things too. I remember as well, back to my example, I wanted to be at the time, a rock star. And I was like, I'm going to be a rock star. And you have to act like one before you already won. There's a thing, fake it till you make it. I mean, people say that, right? But just live in it until you be it before you're actually there, and it will follow. Or get in your mindset of already having the riches and having, what would it be like to have the record? What would it be like already to feel the feeling? If someone just told you right now, someone just deposited $1 million in your bank. There, what that feeling is, you're supposed to like live in it all the time, and then it will come. That's what, like that feeling of, oh, I would have any really worries, that many worries anymore. I would be worried about this, because worry and fear and anxiety it's a lower vibe. And then they say high vibe. You hear that all the time. High vibe. I don't know, high vibe, babe. Like, no, negativity here. There's stuff to that too. Like, don't bring your vibe here. You're gonna like, bring me down or whatever. Because when you're high and you're high vibe and you're all that stuff, then you could get into the whole thing about juicing and being on a high vibe and eating good things that don't make you feel bad, and then you're higher. Does anyone know this stuff that I'm talking about? Like I said, I've read so much about this stuff, all different things. It's interesting. It's fun. It's fun because comedy of errors, the game of life. Life could be fun if you could get into that thing where it's like things flow. And you ever hear you're in the flow, going with the flow, man? You're in the flow. I'm in the flow of the universe. Wow, I didn't even need the money. It came flowing in. Like, right, the example, always the person who doesn't need it always wins the raffle ticket. They win the lottery. Why? Is there something to it? Again, food for thought. MAGA Institute says reality is overrated. See, I prefer living in, they say this is a 3D world. This is 3D matrix, 3D reality. When you hear the word matrix, I mean, for people, I think everybody in here probably already does know what that, the matrix, I say it a lot. Oh, the matrix of life. Did everyone see the movie, The Matrix? Of course, there's the red pill, the blue pill. I mean, which pill did you take? Because when you take that red pill, I believe it's a red pill, and you follow the rabbit hole, go down that rabbit hole. Hey, all of a sudden, boom, it's like you're in a different reality. There's a reality that's constructed for us, I feel, to stay stuck in, to be chasing money all the time. And, oh my God, I got to pay the bill. That's like the Matrix, the 3D world, I always say. And then there's other stuff outside of it. And you hear that too. If people know what I'm talking about, like, oh, escape the Matrix, live your best life, that's what, and they say these are the tools of how you get there, from manifesting and all that stuff. So fear is false evidence appearing real. I like that. Sorry, I just gotta look at my thing there. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Yep, that's true. I like that. Yeah, okay, so Tim says I'm adopted. I'm trying to go back to that my example. Because it was time I had two people, I don't ever say names, two people in my life. And they both were adopted. And it was weird because I was like the closest two people in my life, but they were like polar opposites. And one always played the victim. And he was just like, nothing ever went right. I know it's probably not I'm saying I shouldn't. And then the other one, though, my example was one. He always blamed it. He was adopted. He kind of played the victim, like, oh, my parents never cared. That's why he used it as like, I don't know, like something to see why he was messed up or whatever. And then the other guy who was adopted, I mean, was super, super successful. Didn't it didn't call like. I guess my point was saying one of them kept like being victim and saying, oh, he would blame him because he was adopted and all his problems and everything. It was because he was adopted. And then there was another guy who was adopted and he never blamed any. He went out to be very successful. So I guess my point was like, because they were both adopted, you couldn't blame it on the parents' inherent trait, right? Like, because certain things you're born, especially physical things, your mom's eyes, your dad's nose or whatever. So it was like different, but it was just saying like things we tell ourselves, our stories I tell ourselves, right? Oh, I was adopted, maybe, and then the other guy was just like the total opposite. So I guess getting back to Aaron's thing about our certain qualities, are they from your parents? I mean, then you could get into the whole thing. Well, I won't get into it, some other stuff. But Timothy says, Aaron, fear is a psychological virus, just like obesity. You ever notice how fat people always have fat friends? Researchers have studied the psychological virus phenomenon and proven it real. Interesting. That sounds like The Secret book. Yeah, that was one. The Secret, the Michael Beckwith. I used to go to, like I said, I was into this stuff forever. When I went to L.A., there was a favorite place I would always go. I loved it. It was called Agape Church. And he was there. And he was the guy doing the service every Sunday, or it was every Wednesday night, I think. And I think it was in Culver City. And I lived in LA or like Hollywood, and I would drive there and it would always take traffic. It would take like freaking an hour and a half to get there, which is only like 5 miles away or something. But I'm like, I want to get to this service because I just love the vibe. I love people that would be singing and he'd be talking about this stuff. And he's like, oh, and it was a secret, and they say sometimes the secret is like the beginner level because there's other stuff that gets really deep into all that stuff. But, but the secret, yeah. That was it. Michael Beckwith, it was his name. Timothy says that manifesting BS is an offshoot of the law of attraction nonsense. Paula White stuff. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, that's what I say because you go back and forth. I think that's the thing. And maybe they feed off this too. I mean, there is truth to it. I don't know. But you want to believe, well, if I just change the way of thinking, if I just wish the car is here, it'll come. Because I know a lot of people, especially living in California, I was just like, they were lazy. Oh, it's just going to come. Just come to me, babe. Like, oh, you don't have to work for that. Because certain things, you could wish, yes. Because I'm here, like I said, in my title, is it BS? Is it true? I mean, you want to believe it's true that if you change your thinking and all that, maybe it plays a part in it. But the one thing I will say that some people just don't like, I don't think you can't just sit on the couch and hope that I want to have a radio station. I want to be on TV one day. I want to have an album. I mean, you have to play your part too. I mean, I'm just going to sit on the couch and be like, I want an album. I want to be able to, you have to get up and do something too. I mean, you want to have a car. I mean, you got to start putting stuff in motion, got to save for a down payment. I mean, maybe someone will come in and say, hey, I can help you with your car. Or maybe someone will, has one if you start putting it out to the universe, oh, I keep talking about it. I want this to happen. I want this to happen. I think that also is then you're telling other people, and maybe something will happen like, oh, they need a car. I'm selling one. I'll give it to you for like, oh, I want to just get rid of it because I don't need it. I mean, maybe a car is a bad example. A TV. I really need a TV. Oh, there's one right there. Like, I'm not using it anymore. Do you want it? I mean, I don't know. Stuff like that. Yeah. White Noise says yes. And then MAGA Institute says Napster got people not wanting to pay for music. Yeah. Aaron says if I pay you music, I want all of it to go to the artist or band, not the record label executives. Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm putting it out myself, because I talked about this, I think, on the episode when I was talking about Badfinger. And it was just like, did you see that episode, Aaron? Do you know the story of Badfinger? Oh. I mean, I don't want to get into it. It's so freaking sad. It's so tragic. And that's why I do what I do. I mean, I'm saying, well, I do what I do. I'm like, with Voice of Freedom Records and how I can, like, because musicians, worth repeating really in a nutshell, in case you didn't see the episode. Musicians like you, me, and other creatives and stuff, we put our soul out there. It's not a business to us. We have to play the game, especially now. It's like, oh, you have to be a business. You have to know everything. But they take people like that. They take advantage. And these poor two guys in the band, both of them committed suicide. Both of the guys. And the song, Badfinger, I'm sure. I mean, they sing, I can't live if living is without you. That's one of their songs, no matter what. Like, so many great songs. They wrote them. They came from their heart. And then the record guy, what's his name? If Quentin was here, he would tell me. I just lost his name. Stan Poley, something like that. Polly. They had no money. That's probably what they were. They couldn't even take the kid. They took all their money. They should have had money, but they wrote something in the contract, I'm sure, where they signed their life away. And in the little writing, because the manager was not out for the best interest of the artist. They're just a cash cow. That's how people are. And why do you hear, like, why are some people just always pushed and pushed? And kids they want young kids who are moldable and who are young and they don't know and they just want to be, on TV or be singing and stuff and like show business thing. I mean, it's just, we are just commodities to them. And that's why I said, for artists by artists. Have something run by someone like me, and I'm sure there's other people doing it too. Artists, people, I would never do that to someone, and they don't think it because they're not soul. They don't do what we do. What we do is different. There's some people, that's why I think artists should be taken care of, and musicians and, real people who are doing it, should be some kind of freaking funds for them or something. I don't know, more, some kind of something to say. It's actually important. Yeah, we can get all into that all again in another episode because I've already said this all before. But like I said, it bears repeating, because it's like people don't understand the power of music. It's heal. I mean, they do. You guys do. A lot of people do. It's healing. Like, seriously. It's why people use meditation and healing. Like there's sound therapists and people who go in there and they heal with sound. So if sound is a frequency, a vibration and all that, words are, I think it's important, try to, you say your self-love and self-talk. Talk to yourself like better, Yes, the internet broke record companies, which was way overdue. Record company, yeah. And part of me is good. Like I should play my song and I'll play it eventually, Devil in Me. It's all about this. And I say, in the song, burn it down. I want to see it burn. It deserves to burn. What they've done to people, and then the stories that you'll never hear. And like I said, my story is just a little small one. I mean, people don't know who I was, whatever. But I saw a lot. I went through a lot. I don't really talk about it. I'll talk about it in Comedy Bears a little bit. Many examples. They destroy people. And I don't think it's talked enough. Did you guys know the story of Badfinger? Maybe you probably did. You're music fans. People talk about that. What they've done, what they do. Those record companies, I'm glad they're all failing, or it's like old news, because what they do is wrong. And again, maybe there's not everybody. There's maybe some good ones out there. But how many people? Oh my gosh, another one. I was just looking at Michael Jackson. What they did to him too. I go back now, like I always liked his music, but I never was like a huge fan, like, or I would read his book, or if he had a book, he probably did. But it's really real into it. You just hear like, oh, Michael Jackson and then stuff with the kids and blah, blah, blah. and they make him look so like he was guilty of all this stuff. I don't know. I could really get into that. Maybe that's for another episode. But I watch his videos. You could just see like he was a pure soul. I mean, obviously, like such good music. The Earth song. I mean, all of them, right? But the Earth song, maybe that one's not as popular. It is, but you know, it's not like Thriller or Billie Jean or whatever. But like, I love that song too. You know, it's just art is a gift, and I mean, real. And again, I'm not saying me at all, not at all. I'm just talking about people who like songs that come from like places that are just like that Hallelujah song, like these beautiful songs. They literally channel through God. I mean, not everybody can do that. I can't do that. I mean, I got a few songs like, but I'm just saying some people have undeniable talent. Where even Paul McCartney, Let It Be and stuff. They always said their songs came to them in dreams. John Lennon, Imagine, all that stuff that came from them. Like, this is a gift to the world. And then the record people, they come in and they just like, oh, how do I profit? How do you turn everything? That's why sometimes I'll say, I say it a lot. Music is sacred, the good music. Like, and then for them to do that, even to Michael Jackson, what really happened to him? He was always fighting with his record company. He came out and told, Tommy Atola, he said it on stage like they're the devil. And then he was, always battling with the record label. He was messed up. But Michael Jackson, we should talk about more about him. I like him. Are you reading my diary? What does that mean? Does it mean we're on the same page here? You get it? I know. You understand. I have champagne taste and a beer budget. Does that count? You could have Miller Lite, right? The champagne of beers. I just remember that because I used to serve that a lot. Champagne of beer, Miller Lite. Music now is becoming more similar. The Spotify effect. Yeah, we talked about it last night, and I had Chris and Mike both in here. Guys, I don't know if you guys were in here last night. Aaron, I don't think you were in here last night. Were you in here last night, or was it 2 nights ago? Maybe you were. Yeah. And what was I going to say? I was on my soapbox rant then. It's just like, yeah, well, we got to fight for it. There's certain things that, that's why we saw Voice of Freedom Records is such a great idea. I mean, again, it doesn't just, my idea, John. For artist by artist, my TV platform that I talked about all last night, dumped so much into that. It wasn't just for me, but I need help. I need help too. So it's like, it's for other people. It's not owned by the freaking establishment. It's owned out of our pocket, but it's very hard because people don't really, and again, exclusion of you guys, because you're all very supportive in there. You've all helped. And I know you know the story, but for anyone who might be listening who doesn't know, it's like, what we've done is almost nearly impossible, with not having a big budget and just doing it for so long and be like, we're going to do, because and there needs to be another alternative where you could find real people who actually care. And I say, you start with 10 people, start with 20, start with 50. I mean, there's a lot of people listening, but I mean, who actually do something and could help or whatever. And you grow it little by little. And then that's how a movement starts. Impact is in numbers. Timothy knows all too well what we're talking about, what I'm talking about, the struggle. People don't want to help each other. There's not enough pure souls out there. There's not. It's always like me, motive, ego. Yeah, we're in a human world. We got to take care of ourselves. We got to take care of our family, of course, self-preservation, all that stuff. Of course, yeah, you got to, whatever. But not enough people think of the bigger picture and fight for those people. Like, you know what I mean? Like there should be a law, the Badfinger law. Like this shouldn't have been able to happen. But that's all it is. Amy Winehouse, she's a good example. And people just like, she was their cash cow. I mean, I had met her manager. I'm not saying, I don't know, I was in like a close contacts with a lot of these people. In Camden, I used to live. But my point with Amy Winehouse is, look what happened to her. When you see older videos of her, it's sad because she was, wasn't like that at all. But the industry messes you up and you become like hooked on drugs. And another thing is I talk about this again, your identity. You have to become this identity. Whether it's through your hair or your style, they make you into your identity, which sells, right? Oh, you know what Amy Winehouse looks. She had a good look, and she had her hair and the back to spin, and everybody has a look like a Madonna or whatever. Katy Perry, I used her as an example the other night. But look, they all break down. Katy Perry was like, I said it. She's always after her lollipops and floating on a cloud, and and then she's out on another interview crying, looking for God. Catherine is my real name. I don't know who I am anymore. because you have to become this thing, and it's to make other people money. Hey, that's what they say. Sometimes you sell your soul. I mean, what do you want more? Like, you're literally, you have to become something else sometimes. Not all the time, but I mean, maybe there's some exceptions, but there's more cases than not of people in this industry who are like messed up. I mean, look at that, like a lot of kids and people. So I don't know. Going off on that rant. I'm sorry, guys. Music, because you guys are talking about music, and I'm like, oh. There's one band that is growing on me. Angine Duputrin. They say AI cannot replicate this style. Is this the math rock? Aaron says this. I can't click on it right here. Aaron says many music-focused YouTubers are making videos reacting to this band. Makes me wonder if there's an incentive driving them to do it. They reference, their chats recommending them. And Aaron says, no, but I will. They are a cautionary tale. Oh, about Badfinger? Well, there, I good told some of the story, but yeah, look it up. It's messed up. Makes me so. I like it. I don't want to tell. Yeah, cautionary tale for sure. But back, and I did again on that episode. I think it was episode 11, and it says the title Badfinger in the story. But that's some of the good things about today, right? Because back in the 70s, they didn't have ChatGPT. They didn't have things that they could look and like be like, oh, artists were just at their mercy. So, and I go into it on the show more, but it was just like, so there's some good things about this day and age. You can have control over your career. You can put things out on your own record label. You can put your music out. Those are the good things now. But the bad thing is now everyone could do it. So you don't know what's good. You don't know what's not good. I mean, you do by listening to it, but now everybody could do it. So for someone like me, how the heck do you break through? You don't have the money to put it out there. Everybody's a musician, everybody's an artist. So there's good things and bad things. In the 70s, like they didn't have any of this stuff. And, so yeah, it's definitely a cautionary tale. And, I don't think people, like, I'm sure there's other ones, but that was the one I always remember. That one. Always, like, when I read that story, I was like, oh my God, you don't hear about it that much. I mean, they wrote some, maybe not your style or whatever, but they wrote like some of the best songs, and they should have been millionaires. I mean, they were rightfully mad because the songwriters always get all the money. And they should have been millionaires. I mean, they're like, I can't take care of, I have a baby on the way. I can't take care. I'm worried about the finances for my child. Meanwhile, they are someone's puppet out there making somebody millions. Someone millions. Their music's still played everywhere. Someone's making a lot of money on them still. But they wrote it in the contract that way, not to protect the artist, not to care. Like I always say, it's just like, sure, you can make money. I mean, yeah, if a manager does a good job, you have to pay them. But it shouldn't. You're supposed to protect the artist as well. Fine, get what you want, but it's all greed. It's all greed. I think not every manager, but he's definitely an example. He's a crook. That's it. And look at the person who had to pay the price. Probably same thing with Michael Jackson. I don't know who his manager was, but that he was always in disputes with the record label and everything like that, and his licensing, his music library and all that stuff. But back to the chat room here. I've been watching IMY3. They do covers, which pull in a lot of people and build their audience for their original compositions. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. We talked about that. Britney, Kanye, so many have been mentally and physically destroyed by the industry. Then there's the curse of 27. And you know what? Badfinger, I read that. Pete Ham, his name is, or Ham. He was 27. That's what I read. And the other guy was the bass player in the band, and he committed suicide like 7 or 8 years later after Pete. I don't think he was 27, but you don't think of that. And, I mentioned that to Jess and Tom, who did the No Skips podcast. They had a whole episode about the 27 Club. Did you know the 27 Club? Who is it? Amy Winehouse was 27, I believe. Again, always correct me if I'm wrong. I don't have the thing to. Jim Morrison, Janis Joplin, 27. That's so young. Jimi Hendrix. There's a couple of them. There was more. Pete Hames should be in there. People don't talk about him. He committed suicide at 27 because he didn't have any money because the guy stole from them all. There's probably maybe other ones I'm forgetting, but yeah, isn't that weird? There's a lot. Rule number 1, baby. Yep. Some artists become worth, oh yes, more to them dead than alive because the death of an artist creates a boost of nostalgia interest. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's someone benefiting right now from Badfinger. I wonder who it is. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. Maybe it's worth like looking into it. Like, not we could find it out, but I mean, sometimes there's even with Michael Jackson. I don't know. Hopefully, is it maybe his sisters have? I really don't know enough, but maybe they have control over some of it. But there's others. And hey, trust me, you go into some of these and they're signing life insurance policies for the artists before they're alive because you want to make sure when they die, their cash count's gone. They're going to get that money either way. There's a lot of sick stuff that happens, you know. So that makes a good point. And yeah, it boosts the sales. Look at it. That's why I wonder what Michael Jackson, who had control of his catalog and stuff like that when he died. Maybe it's his sisters. I don't know. Michael Jackson's sad story. I only bring it up. I was looking at it last night. Such great music. Yeah. Huh. The entertainment industry is messed up. You see? You see why I'm doing what I'm doing and why, like, yeah, because I didn't want to be in it again. You know, I don't want to go back to Hollywood. I don't want to have to deal with certain things. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, and like I said, my story wasn't like as bad as some people's. You know, I had some good things happen. It wasn't like, you know, there's people that the parties, all the things, the P. Diddy stuff. Like I was never at that level, but you know, I was not far from a lot of these people. I mean, this one knew that one who knew that one. I mean, you know, I wasn't there luckily at those kind of things, but I could definitely see how this stuff happens and what it is. It's a different world, you know. But again, I save a lot of that for comedy errors because I don't want to get too deep in the stuff out here because we're supposed to be talking about abundance, but I guess we are, you know, Think and Grow Rich. Oh, and we'll get into the comment of the day, but you know what? I've just been talking and actually I'm forgetting it's Thursday night. So I actually have to go pretty soon because we have another show coming in at 9:00. It's only on Thursday. The Politishock's on at 9. I can actually start wrapping it up. We're going to have to do part 2. We're going to have to do part 2. Oh, thank you, Aaron. Yes, you're doing well to inform young musicians to be wise regarding record contracts. For sure. For sure. And with ChatGPT and tools like that, it's good now that you could kind of look and be in charge. Always know you can't do everything yourself, and that's the problem. You do need help. Now, I'm not an accountant, but you need to know what's going on with your money because if you don't, they take advantage. They rob you and everything. So, with that said, I just have a lot to say, I guess, because I have to go to the top of the hour here. Well, the middle of the hour here, and remind you guys if you're enjoying the show. If you are liking the conversation and you haven't already, feel free to drop a tip in the tip jar. As I said, I am independent. That means I don't have help of the machine or the establishment. I'm totally independent. And what that means is usually when you're independent, you're doing things yourself. You don't have a ton of money or a ton of help. So that's really what an independent artist is. So with that said, remember, are you enjoying the podcast? If you'd like to support what I'm building, you can buy me a coffee. Every bit of support helps me keep this podcast going and release my music independently. You can leave a one-time tip or become a member for a few dollars a month and unlock exclusive content and behind-the-scenes footage you won't find anywhere else. Just visit buymeacoffee.com/Hollis-Mahady or scan the code you see on the screen. I'm in pursuit. I am in pursuit. We're in pursuit. Okay, just in case you don't already have it, I know Aaron has it. And I know most people probably already do have it who know me. But just in case, is there anyone out there, they see me going on and on about my music, my $18,000 off. It's a sale right now for only $20. This is how you can support me as well. Need some new tunes to listen to? Why not try the Hollis-Mahady Music Collection? As I move towards the new, I'm closing an old chapter with gratitude. To celebrate the new music on the horizon, I've gathered my complete past collection and made it available all in one place. The collection includes 2 full albums with my previous band, Love Zombies, Passion Fruit, and No Slow songs recorded live at Abbey Road Studios, the Be Honest EP with Love Zombies, Hollis original songs, Hollis cover songs, a bonus Christmas album. And this collection represents the journey that brought me here today and the doorway into what's next. To purchase the music collection, head over to hollismahady.com and go to the store. All funds raised go directly towards promoting and advertising my new album on my own label, Voice of Freedom Records. Thanks so much for supporting independent music. And that's what I say, you guys. It's like the Voice of Freedom Records. Again, I'm new and I come consistently and I want to spread the word about it because it isn't just for me at all. It's about protecting artists and stuff. And, unfortunately, some people have to just learn their own way and go to Hollywood. I would never say don't do it. I did it, so you got to live and learn. I mean, it's like kids. You warn them, but some people, they just got to go and do their thing. And you see, and that's why it's like, what choice do you have? I mean, do you just give up and you don't do it anymore? Or do you try to create something else? So any, money or anything I raise, it's to build it. So I eventually could bring other great artists, who had maybe had similar experiences or were going through the same thing. And we can help each other. And we could, people are too obsessed sometimes. Oh, I want to be a big music star. I'm going to make millions of dollars. Well, if you're doing it for that, you shouldn't do it for that. You shouldn't be doing it for that because really the point is to be able to make a living to do it. Being able to bring it back to where you can make albums that I said last night are good enough for people to want to buy in an age where there's just so much. No, charge for it. Tell people you're valuable. No, I worked on this for a long time. I'm just going to give everything away for free. It's good. Some of it's good. Have value and say no, like change it. But we're in a weird world. Well, I don't want music to become valueless. Shouldn't. It saves people's lives. So with that said, Covers is my first single I will be putting out eventually. And I know I've played this many times, but what I said before about hiding, I said it earlier in the episode, I was hiding away. And that's why I chose Covers to be the first song. I mean, it's really, life is a gift. This game we play it, we get better, we play the game, we learn to make our own game, manifesting and all that. And coming out from under the covers and saying, you know what, when life beats you up and life tells you, oh, you're too old, you'll never, whatever. Or you tell yourself that, as we were talking about. You have the courage. You have the courage to get up and try again. And it's pretty much, I love Rocky. It's like, you could do it. Like, how many times you get hit, how many times you're going to stand up and keep going. I was always like, I'm rooting for the underdog. We could do this. We could do it. A big cheese ball. I like all that stuff. So this is my song Covers. It's not the song. It's just a little teaser if you're interested in becoming a backstage member. $10 a month.
Life is a gift, the game we play.
So there you go, guys. Unfortunately, I'm going to start wrapping it up because I said we have another show coming on. We share a computer, so we have to do the transition. But really quick, it's going to be do it really quick because it's something I know Aaron might be interested in. Everyone else out there, I didn't know this, and we talked about a little bit about Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I was going to say Napoleon Dynamite, Napoleon Hill. But here, we'll get in the comment today because we'll point to this. Because I brought this here and I got this prepared for the show. As I put that up, someone left a comment. If you can see, it's really small, but it says, Napoleon Hill has another book, even more fantastic book called Outwitting the Devil, a must read. And that comes from Matt, and Matt is very smart and awakened. And so that's something I want to check out. I was going to get into it and look at real live time about what it's about, but I'll save that for next week because tomorrow's episode is dedicated. Just want to remind you, tomorrow is TGI Fridays, and tomorrow we take a break from talking about music in the industry and all that stuff, and we focus on what it was like back in the day with TGI Friday. Here we go. This one's for the 80s babies and all the stuff we talk about. We reminisce. We have a good time. We talk about things like that and excuse me, all that stuff. So that's tomorrow night, and I am very excited. And I didn't even get to it tonight, but hold on one second here. I got to get that off. But thank you, Matt, for letting us know that. There you go, audience. Napoleon Hill is even a better book, apparently. Outwitting the Devil, a must read. So we'll talk about that more next time because I think obviously this episode needs to be continued. There's a lot to say about manifesting. So we're going to get more into that next time. And I have some new t-shirts that I ordered, and I'm going to be debuting one tomorrow for the 80s episodes. So I'm so excited. So if you want to see what I'm wearing, come in and join us. We have a really good time on Friday nights. It's a fun time. So come next week. Okay, guys? And just in the chat room to say goodbye to everyone. Jason's in there. Jason's chat room. Hi, Jason. Sorry I missed you guys. I got to run, but thank you. Thank you guys all for being here. Bottom of the hour. We are almost at the bottom of the hour here. So Joe's home. Thank you, Joe. On your new member, I'll buy me a coffee. I discovered that a few hours ago when I bumped up. Aw, thank you, Joe. Thank you. Thank you, Joe. Even though here, I have to do it just because. And this is part of my closing, but this is going out to Joe and to all of you guys. You're always supportive, and just being here is enough. But I I appreciate it, and thank you so much. Thank you. So, and again, just to close out the show, if no one told you today, I'm here to tell you: never give up on your dreams. You are not too old. You are alive. You're doing good. You're here. You're never alone. I'm here for you. That's why I'm showing up every night. You can find me at 7 p.m. Eastern time every night here. Wherever it's streaming, you can find me. I'm here. I'm here for you. And we're real people, real connections, great people in the chat room. I love every single one of you. And White Noise, I love you too. And I'm glad you're here. Oh, the 80s, yes. Come in tomorrow to the chat room. It's going to be a lot of fun. And like I said, debuting my new t-shirt. So everybody, thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I'm going to cue up my closing song here. And it's a great song. So yeah, my TGI Friday episode, it's online. I'll play it tomorrow. But don't miss that episode. It's good. We get into a lot of really fun things. So I'm going to end this stream, unfortunately. But I will be back tomorrow. And up next, we got Politishock on Voice of the People, USA Radio and Television Network. Don't forget to check it out, VOPUSARadio.com. Make sure if you're not already signed up for my email list, head to my website, hollismahady.com. Sign up for the email list. You get free things once you sign up, a free copy of the Reconnection Movement. And I'm going to be doing something else very soon, the Recreation Movement, because we are recreating what we want. There's something lacking. We're going to create it. We're going to create it right here on Hollis-tics. And we're going to come back to this episode someday and be like, remember, we did it. All of us, all of you matter. So I love you all. And you loved it. Me too. I love this closing song too. Enjoy it. And again, I love you all very much. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm Hollis Mahady. You've been watching Hollis-tics. And I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great night. Love you all. Take care. Oops. Board operator. It's time to end the show. Oh, yes. Bye, guys. Thanks. Thank you for watching Hollis-tics, hosted by me, Hollis Mahady. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to share it with someone who might need it too. And if you'd like to support the podcast, you can visit buymeacoffee.com/Hollis Mahady. You can make a one-time donation or become a member for just a few dollars a month to get extra podcasts and exclusive behind-the-scenes content you won't find anywhere else. Or simply scan the code on the screen. Your support truly means the world to me and helps me continue creating independent content for you. If you like the music featured in this show, I license it through Epidemic Sound. You can head over to hollismahady.com, click on the podcast page, and use my link for a free trial. And don't forget to check out VOPUSARadio.com, where I host my music channel and am building a growing community of independent musicians. If you're interested in joining the network, just click Join Network and submit an application. Until next time, remember that you are loved and never alone. From human to human, big hugs. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy the outro video. I love this song.
Lights shining from the window late at night. I'm just watching someone else's life go by, wishing it was mine. Dreams, everybody has them at the start. Somewhere along the way they fall apart, and it makes it kind of hard to look up at the lights. When the lights go out, everything is clearer. When the lights go out, I can finally see what it's all about. Standing in the mirror when the lights go out, it's you looking back at me. could finally see when the lights go out, everything is clearer. When the lights go out, I could finally see what it's all about. Standing in the mirror when the lights go out, it's you looking back at me. Hope, try your best to hold on to the rope. We all have a reason to let go, and it's easier to do, but it's better if we don't.